Yes. You know, these tires, yeah. Mhm. Les Schwab, yes. Ohio, yeah. That large pile of tires that I wanted to have ownership of, yes. Tire, yes, is very important to me. I had planned on getting a hold of all the available used tires in the nation, yes, melting them up at high temperature, maybe 1500 to 2000 degrees, yes, and forming them into a new plumbing supply. Now, I'm sure about the availability of recycling tires. Yeah, I think it's something that needs to be done because we have a lot of them. Yeah. And could you get me the state of Ohio? Yes. Because my thought was I'd seen in a National Geographic what was known as the nation's largest pile of tires. And I had planned on putting a kind of smelter right there in Ohio. Yes. Where you just kind of threw in tires, right? You used a magnet to remove the steel belting of them. Yeah. You heated them up to approximately 2000 degrees. And then you cooled them and formed them into a new type of plumbing product, yes, similar to PVC. Now, I'm wanting them, yes, and I want all the tires that are used because I want to recycle all of them. Now, I have been to Albania, yes, Tirana. And there's this memory that I keep having that I think is very, very important. When I was flying into Tirana, yes, in Albania, I was going there to do some missionary work, yes, with the former chaplains of Transport for Christ. Well, sitting in two seats in front of me were two women that I thought that were involved in the profession of being an escort. They had the physical characteristics of women that are employed, yes, in the escort business. Now, I remember sitting there having this thought. I think that they went to a different nation so that they could be call girls. Yes, because one of them was very attractive. Now, it seems, I know. Why would I think such things about the other passengers of an airline? You know, there have been times, yes, when I have thought something about somebody, yes, that I did think I was right. Now, could you get me Albania? Oh, that little nation across from Italy? Yeah. And then there's Kosovo. Yes. And then there's some impoverished nations around Albania and Kosovo. Yes. Known as Macedonia. Now, a lot of these very poor nations, yes, when you tell them you can get paid to make shows, and every time you have an orgasm, somebody's going to pay to read what you have to think. Yes. Now, my thought was it's very corrupt. Yes. I don't want to know your thoughts. In fact, I'm so happy with my thoughts. Yes. That anytime I think about that experience into, well, there's the United Nations. Now, could you get me I just need the communication system of Albania, or Kosovo, Macedonia, yeah, former Yugoslavia, and the individuals that live there. Ooh, because there is this thought, somebody's been, you know what? This is a tom tom. It's a musical instrument, and I thought, yes, it was a GPS locator in vehicles. When we were on Guam, I went to this place that was Israeli owned. Yes. And it's kind of weird. Guam is only 38 miles long. Yes. And 8 miles wide. About 175,000 people live there. And I went walking around. Yes. And I went to the cell phone manufacturer and I said, well, can you put a cell phone in a person's stomach? Because it seemed like somebody kept calling me. Well, what really happened was as I walked around looking for all the movies that Oprah was getting paid to make, isn't that right, Heidi? Ooch. I thought that there was a technology that was being used in the trucking industry. hmm So that you could be on a person and you could track their whereabouts. Yes. Now, when you look at the TomTom, the GPS, well, for those that are in Eastern Europe and the third world nations of Europe, yeah. Could you just look for just a second to find out who it is that is using the TomTom? Because when I went to that office, I know that a lot of women they put hair coloring in them, so it happened to be purple hair coloring. But I didn't think that Israel needed to actually know the location of the trucking industry. Now, it's kind of an interesting thought. You're living on Guam, yes. There's Anderson Air Force Base, which there's Naval Base Guam, yes, and then there's the military buildup of about $15 billion. And when you only have 38 miles of actual road, yes, it's difficult to get lost because it's an island. Now, it looked like somebody had a back door to Guam because Israel had to know. They had to know all the cargo that was going. Oh, look at this cargo. They had to know. What if I looked at every truck on Guam that was going to be Alaska pipeline, intermodal transport? Yes. Did somebody need to know what was? See, now we're back to the espionage. Yes. What is the nation of Israel doing right now? Could you get me all the GPS locations in the nation of Israel? Yes. Every semi truck, yes. And all passenger vehicles, and their actual GPS location using a satellite, yes. That might be a Garmin, a TomTom, or a manufactured GPS. Now, when I look at Israel and their involvement in what the United States is doing, yes, many, the Department of Transportation, it's Paul. Could you call the Federal Department of Transportation of the United States of America? Because I thought, yes, when I informed those in the DOT, yes, of felonies, yes, because I emailed you, Washington State, and you responded, didn't you? Now you're getting sued for misprison of felony, and misprison of treason. Could you get me the state DOTs in every state of the United States and the United States Federal Department of Transportation that has any knowledge of felony? Because I thought, what?